It's the Dodgers and Diamondbacks as they come to Phoenix for the first time in 2019. Game one of a three-game series, and we're glad that you're here with us. Joe Davis, Hershiser, and Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. Dodgers playing really well right now and entering into a stretch right here, Orel, where it's mostly National League West between now and the All-Star break.
Yeah, and when they could stretch their lead, they could let other teams come back into this, but they've been playing so well as of lately and for a long time. I'm not sure the National League West is going to catch them. I think it's going to be more about by how many games do they win it, the way they hit. If they score 4 runs, they're 30 games over 500. The way they pitch, if they have a quality start, they're 29-5. So this team is doing it on both sides of the ball.
Well, as far as the pitching goes, a good matchup here for game one. For the Dodgers, it's going to be Walker Buehler, who had a pretty good month of May overall, but trying to bounce back from a bit of a bump in the road his last time.
Yeah, the last start was not a good one of his worst of the year, and he has some other impetus. I would say that this team against Arizona, he's had a bad outing. So if you look at his year, he's grown through those bad outings, and I think right now, can he extend a hot streak or fall into a slump?
And on the other side, it's the guy that's been better maybe than any other pitcher in baseball against the Dodgers the last 2 years or so.
Hitting 143 off his slider. When he throws that, they can't chase it. They've got to make him get the ball up, and then they've got to make him throw strikes.
All right, it's the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Buehler against Ray. Always a lot of Dodger fans in Phoenix. No different tonight. We've got first pitch from Chase Field coming up after this. The Dodgers taking 3 of 4 from the Diamondbacks to open 2019. And now meeting up for the first time since. Before first pitch, we go down to Alana Rizzo.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. For the first time since the 5th of May, Cody Bellinger not in the Dodgers starting lineup. He and Max Muncy, 2 lefties that will be coming off the bench if need be. Dave Roberts earlier today saying it's nothing other than giving them both a physical and mental day off. There is, however, a trickle effect with both of those lefties out of the lineup against Robbie Ray. Jock Peterson gets a rare start against a lefty tonight.
All right, Alana, and here's the man that lineup will face off with. Robbie Ray, 27 years old, out of Brentwood, Tennessee. Has been so good against the Dodgers over the course of his 6 seasons in the majors. In fact, the #1 strikeout percentage in Dodger history against an individual pitcher. And the lineup that'll see him looks like this, with Chris Taylor to lead it off in center field. And then Kike Hernandez. Justin Turner's back in there, third base, hitting third, with David Freese batting cleanup. Corey Seager is the shortstop, hitting 5th. Will Smith back in there doing the catching. Alex Verdugo and Jock Peterson rounding things out. So the Dodgers have seen Robbie Ray once this season. He was okay, 3 runs over 5 innings in his first start of the year, but he did what he always seems to do against the Dodgers. That is rack up a bunch of Ks. He had 9 of them.
And it's going to be the slider. It's 54% of the time they swing and miss at it when they offer at it. So that's a lot of swings and misses. They've got to stay out away from those 2-strike counts and don't chase early, because this guy will fall behind and he will walk a lot of people.
Yeah, so he has one of the highest strikeout rates in baseball, but also one of the highest walk rates. Chris Taylor climbs in, with the Dodgers having won 5 in a row and 9 of their last 10. Off we go from Arizona with ball 1 from Ray. Taylor's had a hand in that recent run, hitting .306 over the last month. Dodgers at 41-19. They lead the division by 9. They lead the league by 7. Milwaukee Brewers have the 2nd best record in the National League, 7 games behind Dave Roberts' club. On a 1-1 pitch, Taylor swings and misses, 1-2.
Consistency from 2 places, the offense and the starting pitching. And then when that doesn't work out, where one is a little flat, the other one seems to pick him up. If it's a 2-0 win, or if it's a come from behind late with the offense to win 8-0.
Taylor can't lay off, and Robbie Ray has a strikeout on a slider to open his 9th. Closed captioning brought to you by Howard's Appliances. Howard's, your appliance specialists. Robbie Ray coming off one of his worst starts. It was Wednesday at Coors Field. He gave up 5 runs on 8 hits and 4 walks against a don't know if you've checked, but a red-hot Rockies team. It's won 7 straight.
The 4 starts prior, he was really, really good. So I'm almost giving him a mulligan coming out of Colorado and facing that lineup.
Hernandez, strike one with a fastball. Ball and a strike on Hernandez. You know, for the Diamondbacks, they had the second best record in the National League in early May, but they've gone 10-17 over the last month. That's the worst record in the league. They're a game back of the Dodgers, the best record in the league early on in May. Kind of similar to last season's story when Torey Lovullo's team was able to ride through that rough patch in May and make things interesting deep into the second half, before that miserable September that caused him to miss the postseason. Ray with a 2-1, and Hernandez swings and misses on a ball in the dirt. 2-2.
That pitch right there reminds me so much of Clayton Kershaw. Behind in the count after the first pitch where he throws a lot of fastballs. Okay, hitters count, try and hit the slider.
Two. That's cute along first. Walker's got it, feeding Ray, and he beats Hernandez to the bag. Diamondbacks defense tonight brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC. David Peralta returns from the injured list and starts in left. Dyson in center, Jones in right. Escobar's at third with Marte starting for Ahmed at short. Vargas at second, Walker making that play at first, and Carson Kelly catching Robbie Ray. Good to have Justin Turner back in there after spending 3+ games out of the lineup. Tweaked his hamstring in that 9th inning rally against New York last week. Off of the bench yesterday, walked. It's one of the luxuries the Dodgers have with such a deep roster, and with things going so well no matter who they plug in, guys don't feel that urge to hurry back before they're ready.
Yeah, depth relates to, you've got bodies to go out there and they're big leaguers and they have resumes, but our depth with the Dodgers is just, you bring in the next elite player. It's not just anybody.
Turner flies one the other way. Jones comes on, and the Dodgers go down quietly against Ray in the first. So the Diamondbacks get ready to bat for the first time against Walker Buehler. His first pitch of the night after this break. For game one, with Gerard to lead things off. And then it'll be Eduardo Escobar and David Peralta, fresh off the injured list, plug right back into that 3 spot. Jones, Marte, and Walker in the middle with Ildomaro Vargas at second, and Carson Kelly catching Robbie Ray. Walker Buehler trying to bounce back from his worst start in May. Gave up 5 runs over 5 innings Wednesday against New York. He delivers strike one to Dyson.
You're going to see a lot of fastballs from Walker, right around 60%. It might be a little below, a little above that, depending on how much command he has of it.
That throws it more than any pitcher in the National League, and he's facing a lineup here, that is one of the best fastball hitting lineups in the league.
Yeah, they're not only top in average, but they're right up there in slug also.
One and two on Dyson. Overall, they're third in the league in runs, but it's been very boom or bust. A lot of blowout wins for them, but a lot of close losses for this Arizona team.
Lead baseball in losses in 1-run games, and they led that category in the National League last year. They're already they're over halfway to their total from last year already.
1-2. No swing. 2-2. A little bit banged up too. Steven Souza went down before the season. They're without Jake Lamb. They're without David Peralta. Full count on Dyson. Wilmer Flores broke his foot a couple weeks ago. So kind of having to piece it together, but getting Peralta back is a big deal for them.
He's a big deal against the Dodgers usually too.
Bottom of the zone with a fastball to get Dyson. One gone. The defense for the Dodgers tonight brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC. Peterson, Taylor, and Verdugo in the outfield, with Cody Bellinger and Max Muncy both getting the day off. So the infield is Turner, Seager, Hernandez, and Freese, and Will Smith gets another start. Caught Walker Buehler on Wednesday as well. There's Eduardo Escobar. Swings away at the first pitch. He's behind a fastball. They got him at the trade deadline last year in what was a breakout season for him. First in Minnesota, then here what he did over the final 2 months. Re-signed this offseason with Arizona, and he's been even better. He's been their best player in 2019.
They've needed him to be good. And you're right. 15 home runs, 48 RBIs. You lose Paul Goldschmidt, you lose A.J. Pollock, you lose guys to injuries.
Oh, Buehler makes quick work of him, just pounding fastballs at him. 2 up and 2 down.
There is an ego when you're a fastball pitcher, and it definitely, you don't come in following the scouting report. On location, yes, but on pitch selection, it's your own scouting report, which is, I got cheese, you try to hit it.
And it actually matches up pretty well with that of Eduardo Escobar, who swings and misses at high fastballs as much as anybody in baseball. So here is Peralta with 2 gone and the bases empty, taking ball 1. Now, Peralta's been dealing with some shoulder soreness, and so they shut him down about 2 weeks ago. Team leading .309 average. Went and got some work in extended spring training, which obviously is right here. So that worked out well for him. Didn't have to go on a true rehab assignment. Ahead 2-1.
A lot of organizations like to make the IL uncomfortable for players, so they battle to get back. So, like with the Dodgers, send you to Arizona, you're away from home. Diamondbacks don't have that stimulus.
Right.
Oh, you mean if I go on the IL, I can live at home, be with my kids, just go in and train, and then come home to my own house? I don't see the motivation.
Where's that
about getting off the IL?
Yeah.
I would make those guys go on the road with the team.
Yeah, right. You guys are headed to Milwaukee. Fly ball weakly hit to center field for Taylor, and Walker Buehler with a 1-2-3 first. Off and rolling in Phoenix. No score. Performance Spotlight looks at David Freese, who has turned it on over the last 20 games, and especially lately, hitting home runs in back-to-back games for the Dodgers. And his on-base percentage overall ranks him 4th in the National League. Here he is leading off his second against Ray and hitting the first pitch foul.
He is like the last piece in a jigsaw puzzle when you talk about an offense. A guy who can come off the bench, is happy to have that role, can gain great success and not start begging for more playing time and be a squeaky wheel.
How about even better? He talks about at 36 years old, this is maybe the perfect role for him. So it's not even just been a buy-in, it's been a complete embrace.
And that's not just backroom talk in the locker room. That's quotes out in the public. That's when you really know a player believes it, when he starts talking about it with the media.
Ahead of Robbie Ray, 2-1, leading off his second. Dodgers down in order against Ray in the first. He's back home 2-1. Freese fouls it back with a healthy cut, 2-2. Home run yesterday broke the scoreless tie in the 7th inning, his second consecutive game with a long ball, and he continues to do it the other way.
His percentage of balls in play, the greatest one is balls in the air to right field.
That ball's clubbed to left and down the line, into the corner, and another extra base hit for David Freese. Lumbers into second with a leadoff double.
You look at David Freese, hot zone and cold zone. He is not a low ball hitter. He is a mid-height hitter and up and over the middle, and that's where that one is right there. Lefty or righty, he likes that nice level swing right through his belt line, and he hits a lot of balls hard when he gets pitches there.
So after they go down quietly in the first, a loud swing from Freese to open the second, and here's Seager. That is strike one, and we go down to Alana.
Guys, David Freese with the double, 180 feet. He told me yesterday that's all he has at 36 years of age. Yesterday, he looked like he was running the bases on skates after Chris Taylor laid down the bunt, and David Freese ended up scoring on that play. He said, that's about it. I can't do it. So obviously, he has to either hit a home run where he could go around as a trot or just stop at second.
Which he does. And he's being hard on himself. I think he still has plenty left in the tank. 36 years old, but it was, you know, in a sport where everything is trending so young. The Dodgers yesterday get 7 shutout innings from the oldest pitcher in baseball, 39-year-old Rich Hill, and they get the tie-breaking homer from 36-year-old David Freese. Seager behind 1-2.
David Freese quotes of, you know, I'm getting close to the end. Rich Hill's quotes like, I'm going to pitch till I'm 50.
They're coming at it.
Little different angles about where they expect to be in a few years.
Quite different personalities, those two veterans.
But great senses of humor. They would have a great time at dinner.
I would love to hear a podcast. Rich Hill and David Freese together. Ray to Seager with a 1-2. Corey flips it in the air to center. Drifting over to right where Jones will catch it.
David not even thinking about tagging, just looking for a little head start if the ball gets dropped. I could say that about him because he says it about himself.
One gone for Will Smith.
That's what we love about Rich Hill, too, to bring up two guys that, you know, over 35. They're very condescending, but they're very serious at the same time about what they do and how they go about it. Especially Rich Hill and his hitting.
Yeah. Smith lifts the ball to left. Peralta. So a couple flyouts after the leadoff double, and it'll be up to Verdugo with 2 gone.
Right fielder, number 27.
That ball had nice angle, a little pretty good sound, but it just like it was hit with a wet newspaper. If a certain level of generation knows what a newspaper is.
Oh yeah. It's a thing on the iPad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is where Verdugo has excelled this year, especially with runners in scoring position. Ball 1.
Every day this year, we look at him, and he looks less and less like a rookie. You know, we talked about him early on as here's his rookie, here's his opportunity. Boy, he's doing well. Boy, he's in the lineup. Pollock got hurt. But every day, he looks like he's been here forever.
Big swing and a miss there, 1-1. Alex went 0 for 1 on opening day as a pinch hitter. The next day, 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter, and his average has been above 300 since. Comes into this one at 312.
How many rookies are hitting 300, and then how many rookies are still starting when they're a left-handed bat against one of the strikeout guys from the left side? And how many rookies are then still one of the top left-handed hitters in the left-on-left situation? He is some kind of hitter.
Says he relishes these opportunities to go lefty-lefty. There's never a thing coming up. It isn't for any guy who becomes a prospect. You don't get platooned in high school. It's foul and it's 1-2. Even coming up through the minors, obviously you're playing every day. But he said he's embraced kind of a chip on his shoulders. He's gotten to the majors and seen guys like Cody Bellinger go through what he did in the postseason last year, not playing against left-handed pitching, and said, that's not going to be me. Stands a little bit closer to the plate and just carries a little more of an edge with him in these matchups. And he's actually been even better against lefties than righties. Here's a 1-2. He muscles one into short left field. That's down for a hit. Here comes Freese. Peralta's throw. Perfectly done, and they got him. Peralta Hershiser with an instant impact off of the injured list. The cut freeze down at home and keep it scoreless.
One hopper short. It just needs to be accurate. It is, and it's still scoreless.
The roof open, the new artificial surface below. And Walker Buehler after 1-2-3 first, ready to face Jones, Marte, and Walker. What a pickup Adam Jones has been for the Diamondbacks. They signed him in early March. Yes, he went pretty much the whole offseason without somebody offering him a free agent deal. The Diamondbacks did, and they're glad that they did. And you may look at it and say, wow, what a season from Adam Jones, and it is good, but it's just what he was doing every year in Baltimore. The market just wasn't kind to an early 30s outfielder. Behind 0-2, nice looking slider from Buehler.
Not only has game theory changed before our very eyes on how you go about playing and how you about building a pitching staff and how far your starters go, but I think roster theory has changed too completely. And I think we see that with older guys, or when there's a glutton of people in a certain area, if it be outfielders and maybe slightly aging outfielders that don't bring the defensive quotient anymore that they're used to.
Tries to come in on him, and it's blasted down the line foul.
So I think the players are learning and the agents are learning about these new gaps that front offices have as far as what they value, how much they value it, when you really are going to have your negotiating power. And it definitely seems like front offices are leaning heavily towards younger players.
And another 1-2 goes to the slider and finishes him off. And he's retired the first 4 that he's faced. Time for tonight's Coors Timeless Moment, and it is Draft Monday in Major League Baseball. So we look at Walker Buehler's draft history. 2015, 24th overall pick. Dodgers didn't think that he was going to be there at 24. They'd started scouting him a year before he entered the draft. But because most teams were aware of his potential injury problem with the elbow that he was pitching through that season with Vanderbilt, he did ultimately fall all the way to 24. And the Dodgers pounced on him. Delivers ball 1 to Ketel Marte. Bouncing ball to first for David Freese, who feeds Buehler.
The Dodgers in their history have not been afraid of high quality individuals and players or pitchers that need surgery. They're very good at predicting the success, and they're great at having the medical staff around for rehab. And they've had from the beginning a fantastic and Hall of Fame, should be a Hall of Fame surgeon in Dr. Frank Jobe, God rest his soul. So the Dodgers have always had a pedigree, all the way from the naming of the Tommy John surgery, for taking that risk of, we like the player when he's healthy and we think we can get him healthy.
2 out for Christian Walker here in a scoreless second inning. It was June 8th of that 2015 summer that the Dodgers drafted Buehler. 11 days after that, he pitched Vanderbilt into the College World Series final. And less than 2 months after that, he had his Tommy John surgery. Here's his 1-0. That's down and away in ball 2. He faced live hitters less than 1 year after the surgery. And the first time that he threw live BP, he touched 98, which was harder than he had ever thrown at Vanderbilt before the surgery. Now, that is not how it normally goes. It's fouled and it's 2-1.
Yeah, the rumor and the false thought of you throw harder if you get Tommy John surgery, it does not happen. The reason you throw harder sometimes after Tommy John surgery is the rubber band was stretching and it was at a point where your velocity went down, or you didn't gain what you should have gained with strength and age and training. So now you have the surgery, you become the strongest you've ever been, you become the most flexible you've ever been, you become the person that took care of every part of your body because that's all you have to do. And sometimes you come back throwing harder because of all the growth in the other departments, not the fact that the ligament is now
your arm is not that much stronger.
Not a bionic arm that they make you.
2-2. For him, his lower half got exceptionally strong.
And the guys that gain the velocity are the guys that still have a growth spurt or strength to gain. The guys that stay the same or barely maybe lose a little are usually the older guys. The 32-year-old that gets it done. The 34-year-old that gets it done.
Home with a 2-2, and he gets Walker swinging with a fastball. 6 up, 6 down for Walker Buehler. 4 Ks over those 2 innings. Bookend strikeouts in the second. Got Jones with a breaking ball. Got Walker with a fastball. To the third, no score. In the third, Walker Buehler to the circle as Jock Peterson gets ready to lead things off. Jock making his second start of the season against a left-handed pitcher. Started on May 3rd against San Diego's Eric Lauer. And here he is tonight against Robbie Ray, fouling the first pitch back. That ball was caught by Dodger radio man Tim Neverett, by the way, on the fly.
Nice play, Tim.
You got to give it to a kid.
Yeah, you're supposed to throw it out of the booth to somebody.
No, he's going to keep that one. That sweeps in for a strike. 0-2. Now Peterson in his last 11 games hitting .457 with 4 home runs, 18 homers on the year, and far from an everyday role. Tries to lay off a slider but can't, and Robbie Ray makes quick work of him for his second K.
The 2019 Google MLB All-Star ballot is now open. New this year, after the first round of voting, the top 3 players of each position will advance to a special election to determine the All-Star starters. Vote daily at Dodgers.com/vote or on Google by searching your favorite Dodgers or MLB Vote.
Options. I like options.
I need an oxygen tank after that read.
All those options. Strike 1 on Buehler.
Got options. Less options, more oxygen.
1-1. Robbie Ray in his 6th season for the Diamondbacks. Kind of maddening because he shows signs of being one of the best pitchers in the league, but has had a hard time putting that all together. 2017 was his breakout season. He had a sub-3 ERA. He went 15-5 that year, but his ERA a full point higher last year, and he struggled to find consistency here in 2019. That's the 2-2 fly. Buehler fouls it. Ray was drafted by the Nationals and traded to the Tigers. That's where he made his debut. Handful of games in 2014. And then he came here to Arizona before the 2015 season as part of a 3-way deal that sent Didi Gregorius to the Yankees. He's got back-to-back Ks to open the third as Buehler takes a seat.
Nothing to be embarrassed striking out on his slider. He does that with an awful lot of people, even to pitchers, even to some of the best hitters in the game.
Got Taylor with that slider his first time. Now Dave Roberts happy with a lot of the guys' swings right now and their approaches, but Chris Taylor in particular, somebody who really likes where he's at. Can't lay off. Strike 1. You know, spring training was quite a grind for him. Guys often talk about spring training being too long. Chris says his wasn't long enough. He still didn't feel ready when the season broke. And the month of April was just constant tweak, constant tinker. And he felt like it was a series of band-aids, little fixes. It wasn't until a few weeks ago when he felt like it all kind of clicked for him. He's got his hands full tonight with Robbie Ray, and he's behind him 0-2. Dominant pitching over the first 2.5 innings of this game. Ray and Buehler both with 4 Ks. No score to the bottom of the third. LA is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in to Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com for details. And by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's $4.99 spicy chicken strips combo. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Bottom of the Diamondbacks order with Eldemaro Vargas taking ball 1 from Walker Buehler. Vargas seeing the most significant role of his short major league career. Played in a handful of games each of the last 2 seasons, but here's a 27-year-old getting a little more leash because of the injuries they've had. Made his debut in 17 after 9.5 minor league seasons. He has a distinction that you don't want. He's the all-time hits leader at AAA Reno. That is shot to short and caught by Seager.
Easy to say that's the hardest hit ball that Walker Buehler's given up. Line drive to short. And if the hard hit balls, the few that maybe get hit today, go at people, you got a chance for something special. He's got really good stuff today.
It's been mostly fastball as he gets ready to face Carson Kelly. Pinpoint, but didn't get the call from home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom. Veteran crew chief behind there tonight. So he goes right back to the fastball and catches more of the plate. 1-1.
First one 94, next one 97. If he goes 97 with the other location, it's unfair. The maddening thing about throwing those balls right on the corner and not getting them called is I've worked all week. I've waited 4 days and I do what I want to do.
Loop to left. Peterson. Yeah, and who are you to call that a ball?
And do you know what I have done all week? Side works, play and catch, studying video, building my mechanics, working out, doing cardio, getting my rest. Are you kidding me? That's a strike, Gary.
He wound up getting him.
That's what I used to say. I walk off the mound and they join you as part of your walk.
Say that under your breath, though, right?
Well, with some umpires, the relationship was close enough you could say it, and you just kind of say it tongue in cheek, and they would get the message. Like the catcher told me it was a strike. He's telling me it was a strike.
Quickly 0-2. Where did Gary fall on that spectrum?
Gary's right there. He's a really, really nice guy. Down to earth. Knows how to run a game.
Well, 9 up, 9 down for Walker Buehler. 5 Ks through 3.
Walker Buehler 9 up, 9 down so far, continuing the trend of tremendous starting pitching by the Los Angeles Dodgers, led by Hyunjin Ryu. Time now for the T-Mobile connection to the game. No surprise here, guys. Hyunjin Ryu named the National League Pitcher of the Month for the month of May. Why? Because of this. In 6 starts, a 5-0 record, the earned run average impressive, .59. And you can see again the strikeout to walk ratio, bringing his record for the season to 8-1 with a 1.48 earned run average. He leads not only the National League, but the majors in wins as well as earned run average. He's the first pitcher since Ubaldo Jimenez to have 11 consecutive starts in which he's given up 2 or fewer runs.
All right, Alana, and if you can string together another month anywhere close to that, you're going to be starting the All-Star game for Dave Roberts in the National League. Who would have thought that? Hyunjin Ryu, National League All-Star game starter. There's still a long ways before that decision is made, but that's how he's tracking. Robbie Ray to Kike Hernandez, opening this 4th with ball 1. Hernandez grounded out his first time. He is really the only guy in this lineup that has some history against Robbie Ray that he's happy about. He has 3 home runs against him. Takes fastball to the top of the zone, 1-1. One of the first times we've seen him lay off that slider. 2-1. Not just Kike, the lineup as a whole, as Robbie Ray has given up 2 hits once through and has 4 Ks.
Hitters that face Ray are thinking, make him get the ball up. He's making you chase down usually.
Hernandez hammers that ball to right center field. Dyson is going to run it down on the edge of the warning track. No score in the 4th, 1 out for Turner. Turner is a guy, just on that same conversation about the Dodgers against Robbie Ray, who, if you didn't look at the numbers, you didn't know any better, you would guess that he would be okay against Robbie Ray. No. 6 for 35 lifetime. There are just some guys against some teams who seem to have their number. It's up and in and ball 1.
Last few years, Justin hasn't been as good against left-handed pitching. And usually when he is very good at lefties or righties, he's able to read the breaking ball and get underneath it and still get it in the air. He's one of the best at hitting the breaking ball and teaching how to hit the breaking ball. He's helped a lot of guys on the Dodgers. And he really talks about not trying to hit the ball, but hit the bottom of the ball.
Backspin it. Out in front, 1-2.
Because if you're trying to hit the center of the ball, the last time you visually pick it up where it's humanly possible and you swing to center that image, by the time it gets to your bat, you're hitting the top or missing it. So the approach at the last visual moment needs to be to hit the bottom of the ball. So then you hit it square.
Carves that one out foul.
When I used to bunt and a guy used to be a high fastball pitcher, I used to try to bunt the top of the baseball instead of the middle of the baseball, because it's just, you're going to make the ball go down then. So even if you hit it square, you deaden it, because I was pulling the bat back approximately the same speed as the pitch to deaden it. So in pulling it back, you deaden it if you square it, and if you deaden it and you hit the top, you still got a good bunt.
That is looped up the middle for a base hit. That's a perfect example of what you're talking about.
He heard us. Fantastic. He's saying barrels are overrated, and he didn't hit it super hard, but he got underneath it. And look at him get underneath the ball, work so hard to get to the bottom of that baseball. He elevates it to the outfield.
And the other principle along those same lines is matching the plane of the pitch with your swing. And you're hearing more and more guys adopt that philosophy, which was first made popular by a guy named Ted Williams. That is upstairs and ball 1 on freeze.
Who invented the phrase of swing level when the ball's coming on an angle? And who made the uppercut a negative thing?
Freeze chops it foul, 1-1. So just, simply put, the pitch, because the pitcher is on a mound and he's throwing from over the top, the pitch is coming in at a slightly downward angle. And so to
plus gravity.
Right. And so to maximize your chance to make contact with that pitch, you swing at a slightly upward angle. And that is more the modern philosophy when properly applied than launch the ball as high as you can and try to hit home runs.
Yes. And then if you think about that, and that's the angle of the swing and the angle of the ball coming in, if you're on time, you have the longest time to hit it.
Freeze lays off ball 3. That's what, when you hear guys talk about, and it's kind of an obscure thing to say and hard to visualize, but when guys talk about keeping their bat in the zone for as long as possible, that's what they're referring to.
Yeah, the timing of it. of the move with the right plane on the swing.
To match the pitch.
Yep. Drop the mic. That was great.
1 on 1 out. 3-1, 3-2.
I just got excited about talking baseball right there. That was good.
There's nothing better.
That's great. Plus Justin Turner chiming in with the perfect hit. You know, don't have to hit it hard. Just get underneath it. If with the old theory and the old swing, he tops that back to the pitcher.
Coming inside with his payoff pitch, and David Freese takes ball 4. That's the first walk they've been able to coax out of Ray tonight, but it has him at first and second with 1 gone for Seager.
This is how the offense can build an inning. Sometimes with the Dodgers, it's double, home run, double, and they just obliterate you. Well, the other thing they do is they don't chase. And when they get their little splash hits, they start stringing stuff together.
Seager fouls it off 0-1. Oftentimes in recent years, Seager has found himself on the bench against Robbie Ray. He's 3 for 27 against him, and Dave Roberts has used matchups against Ray as opportunities to get Seager a seat. But Corey's been looking the best that he's looked all year in recent days, and Dave Roberts wanting to ride that. What better time than now, he thinks, to change the story between Seager and Ray. You see the comparison of the last few weeks versus the first month and a half. And I guess the more you think about it, this is probably, if you're being realistic, what you should have expected from a guy who missed a full season. Two and 1. Turner singled. Freese walked. And in a scoreless game here in the 4th, Robbie Ray to Corey Seager with a 2-1. That Corey swings through 2-2.
Ray's got him in a hole. I know the count's even, but he beat him with a fastball. So now there's 2 tools that he can go to.
Went to the slider, and Seager took it. Full count.
A very hot hitter on deck. That young man right there. It might not be blistering numbers, but a lot of confidence and getting it done.
First and second, 1 gone in the 4th, and a 3-2 from Robbie Ray. Seager fouls it. We'll do it again. We had 94 center cut. Best that he could do is stay alive and wait for another.
He's cut the bat loose every time the ball has been at least thigh high. Anything down, he's doing a good job laying off of. So that theory, you go back when you face Ray, make him get the ball up. Corey's executing it.
And Ray pretty darn efficient the first few innings, but finally here in the 4th, driving that pitch count up some. This will be his 60th of the night. Seager slices one, left center field and deep. Opposite way, home run. Seager off Ray, and the Dodgers lead it 3-0.
When it's down, let it go. When it's up, let it fly. And Corey Seager does that. And you know what? This is backspinning the ball to left center. That is a great sign for him to start getting hot. At the beginning of the year, he was slicing all the balls there to left field, hitting them weakly. If he starts driving it that direction, things are coming together.
And when he does it against Robbie Ray, that's when you know, right? You put all those things you mentioned with a past history, that's redundant, with the history against Robbie Ray, you figure Corey Seager at this moment is in as good a spot as he's been in all year. 1 ball, no strikes on Will Smith. Foul back, 1-1. Seager's first home run against a left-handed pitcher this year. Because going the other way was not the problem. He was going there too often. Like you said, it was weak contact. Started to pull the ball with more authority. And now he's using the whole field again, but using the whole field with authority. Ball 2 on Smith.
Most wins in baseball, and they haven't gotten the bullpen completely together. Corey Seager hasn't become Corey Seager completely yet. This is a scary team.
Looking for a 6th straight win tonight. Last lost back-to-back games, April 23rd and April 24th at Wrigley Field. And they've gone 26-8 since. On a 2-2, Smith swings and misses on a ball in the dirt. And Robbie Ray has his 5th K.
Right fielder Alex Verdugo.
Here's Verdugo.
Did you hear about Nolan Arenado's quote? They asked him about the 8-game winning streak, about what about the Dodgers, and he goes, "Oh, we don't even think about the Dodgers. They're probably not going to even lose a game the rest of the year."
All right. Yeah, let them do their thing. We're battling for second.
We'll get the wild card.
On an 0-1 pitch, Verdugo grounds it back to Ray. But the Dodgers get on the board, at least statistically, from maybe the most unlikely source in the lineup tonight. 3 for his previous 27 against Ray. But Corey Seager coming alive in 2019. 3-run blast, 3-0 Dodgers. Walker Buehler 9 up, 9 down, facing the Arizona lineup for the 2nd time now, and starting Gerard Dyson with a strike over the outside corner. Only 37 pitches for Buehler. Bounce that one, and it's 1-1.
Commanding everything but first pitch strikes. He's a little below 50-50 on that, but after that, really efficient with all of the breaking stuff, the slider, the cutter, the curveball. Almost above 60% with all those.
Weekly fly to left, Jock Peterson. 1 gone here in the 4th. Dodgers 3, Diamondbacks nothing. Here's Escobar. And the scouting report on Eduardo Escobar says he's good pretty much everywhere except up in the zone, and that's where Buehler went the first time that he saw him. He's up with a breaking pitch there that's hit foul, and it's 0-1, and he was able to strike him out. 30 years old in his 9th major league season. Started with the Chicago White Sox, then went to Minnesota and blossomed there. 0-2.
When he gets results, he has a tendency to expand his strike zone and really think that he can hit any pitch, and that's a downfall of a hitter. Is just stay in their zone even when they're hot.
Off speed again.
And 82 for a strike, using the curveball more since the calendar turned to May, and really the main reason he's using it more is because he's landing it more, and he definitely needs it. As electric as the fastball is, he needs something softer.
Back to the fastball. Escobar got a piece.
His rhythm is exceptional right now. He's able to repeat everything. We haven't seen any of those scuds where all of a sudden he bounces a breaking ball 55 feet, or he throws a fastball that misses by 6 feet too high.
Got him swinging with a low fastball. Had some sinking action to it.
Well, this could have been a cutter with a little bit of depth to it. And it acted almost like a split finger or a slider that goes straight down.
So he's retired the first 11. And here's Peralta. Fly to center his first time and his first AB off of the injured list. Takes strike one. Guy they call the freight train, leader of that clubhouse, energetic leader. And in fact, he's now played more games than anybody else in a Diamondbacks uniform currently. That's fouled hard off Smith's mask, 0-2. Good to see a smile after that.
Yeah, you know, if a catcher sets up wide enough and the foul ball comes in on an angle, let's say it's an inside fastball and it comes over on an angle, it can almost miss the mask if they get too far out there. Especially like on an 0-2 pitch right here. Guy far away from the plate, 0-2 pitch, go out there beyond the outside corner. There's some angle there now. Having trouble getting to the pitch. It's either Walker's having a hard head or they're not on the same page.
Well, they figured it out. 98 to the corner. Walker Buehler with 7 Ks over 4 perfect innings. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. New Western fries from Carl's Jr. It's like a million Western bacon cheeseburgers dancing on each fry. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Your summer starts at your Toyota dealer. Now get amazing deals on a new Toyota Camry. On June 2nd, 1989, Vin did Dodgers-Astros on a Friday night in Houston. And then took the O'Malley family jet to St. Louis. Got there at 1 a.m. to call Cubs-Cardinals nationally the next day. That went 10 innings. Got on a Learjet back to Houston. Walked into the booth during the national anthem. As Jock Peterson gets ready to lead off the 5th for the Dodgers and takes strike 1 from Robbie Ray. So he gets there just in time. Probably happy to be back, right? Well, it turns out that it's the longest game in National League history that night. 22 innings. It lasts 7 hours and 14 minutes. Peterson with a hard ground ball to first. Christian Walker fields it and feeds Ray for the first out. The game ended at 2:50 in the morning. Vin was in bed by 4. You and the players were in bed by 4. Got back to the ballpark early the next morning for a 1 o'clock game, which Houston won in 13 innings.
The 22-inning game was my side work day, and our bullpen was slightly depleted. So Tommy asked me to not throw my side work in case I was needed in the game. I pitched 7 innings. I pitched longer than any pitcher who started or relieved in the game.
Some side work.
Yeah, it was a pretty good side work.
1 out for Buehler. Walker hits one off the end of the bat to center. And Dyson. How was your next start? You remember?
I don't remember. We can go to Baseball Reference, and I think I'm remembering accurately that I pitched 7 in there. I'd hate to be putting 2 stories together, but I'm almost positive that I did. I think Jeff Hamilton lost the game, our third baseman. Had to pitch.
In the 22-inning game?
I think so. Or am I thinking of the wrong game? You know, I am getting older.
You are still sharp as a tack.
Oh. It's been in a bulletin board for 60 years.
What has? The tack?
My age, 60 years. The tack's been in the bulletin board for 60 years. That's how sharp I am.
Here's Taylor with the bases empty and 2 out.
See, I haven't even explained my metaphors at this age.
You're so sharp. You're flying right over my head. That's up and in ball 1. Following start.
First of all, did I relieve in the game before? Please say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, I got that.
Pitch innings 14 through 20.
Okay. 14 through 20.
Ground ball to short. Ketel Marte going to finish off a 1-2-3 5th inning for Robbie Ray. Start afterwards 4 Ks over 6 innings, but the start after that, complete game shutout against those same Astros. Halfway home.
June 22nd, we'll receive K. Hernandez jersey tee, courtesy of San Manuel Casino. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
12 up, 12 down for Walker Buehler, and a 3-run home run for Corey Seager. The story so far. To the bottom of the 5th we go, and here's Adam Jones. Strike one. First time we've seen Gary Cederstrom go a little bit down and away to a right-handed hitter. It was mostly fastball over the first 2 innings, but he's really started to mix everything in, and it seems like he has command of everything.
He sure does, and even if he throws it for a ball, it's a competitive pitch, and that is a huge thing with a guy who has exceptional velocity.
1-2.
They have to respect the fact that he has thrown his fastball for a strike, and then if he throws the breaking stuff in the fastball window, which we talk about with all the different pitchers, from the combination of the fastball slider of Kershaw, the high fastball curveball of Rich Hill, the any pitch in any count of Ryu, Buehler has got that kind of stuff. And his relationship right now starts with his fastball command, down when he wants it and up when he wants it. And then the bigger problem for the hitter is that off of those, he's throwing something that's low and breaking, and then the curveball that starts a little bit more up and breaks.
Here it comes with another 1-2 to Jones. Climbs the ladder for it. Sends a high fly ball to center field, but Chris Taylor's got a beat on it. Jones is the first out of the 5th.
The good life. Good time.
Here's Marte, who's 14 home runs, already a career high. This is not a guy who ever hit for any power coming up through the minors, but really turning into a good player for Arizona. Started yesterday's game, and before I tell you this, just take a look at him, okay? Started yesterday's game with the longest home run in baseball this year. This guy. He's ahead of Buehler 2-0.
465, 475.
483.
Wow. Yeah, we just saw Jock Peterson hit one 445 at Dodger Stadium, about 4 or 5 rows from the top of the right field pavilion. So you think another 40 feet beyond that?
Tied with Joey Gallo.
That could have been out of Dodger Stadium if it was hit there.
It was into a part of this park I didn't know it was possible to go. That's a strike, 2-1. It was as a right-handed hitter. It was a switch hitter. It was up there. And again, we'll pull away and give you some perspective on where up there is. Corey Seager crushed his. It was in that area, but about the 5th row. That's a little bit low in ball 3. He hit it above where it says David Peralta Freight Train bobblehead.
Wow.
3-ball count here. Rare 3-ball count for Walker Buehler. Back home with the next one. Marte pops it up. Sky high to right. Alex Verdugo. 2 up, 2 down.
Glad the roof is open. One might have touched the roof. That was way up there. Wow.
Two gone, 5th inning. Dodgers up 3-0, and Christian Walker comes up. Walker has really struggled with the fastball this year. Buehler went right after him with it his first time. Does so here. Strike one. It's been an up and down first full major league season for Christian Walker. He's had some great stretches, like early on, had a good start to the season at Dodger Stadium. He recently had an 0 for 21 slide, but comes into this game hot, hitting close to 500 over the last week. Turned 28 on opening day. And this is his first real major league opportunity besides a handful of games. On a 1-1 pitch, takes it low, ball 2. Played in 13 games in Baltimore in 2014 and 15, but was blocked by Chris Davis, first base, during his best seasons. And then over here to Arizona, where he was blocked by Paul Goldschmidt prior to the trade this offseason. They say he never once complained, though, even though he's tearing it up in the minors. Wasn't getting the opportunity at the big league level, never complained. That ball is hit well, left center field and deep. Peterson to the deepest part of the yard and gone. Perfect game, no hitter and shutout, all gone with one swing. Christian Walker's home run makes it 3-1.
Walker Buehler supplies the power. The ball tailed from the outside corner to the middle of the plate, and Christian Walker didn't need to do too much with it. Just meet it solidly. Pitch was elevated. The ball ended up being elevated.
So 3-1, and now Vargas takes ball 1. That's a bit of a punch in the stomach because he had no hit stuff, has no hit stuff.
Yeah, he sure does. And those are probably going to be the ones where he either gets a broken bat where they get the first hit on him, or they square one up because he's supplying the power.
Back to the corner there, 1-1.
He went back-to-back hitters counts, you know, fastball counts, 3-1, 2-1. I was starting to get excited. Just what I was seeing with the eye test, the way Arizona was approaching him, the way he was dominant with the fastball and had the secondary stuff with it. Still does, just not out of this inning yet.
2-2. I think it's okay to share now that after the first inning, you looked at us upstairs and said, no hitter tonight.
I said it's either going to be a really low hit game and it's going to be bleeders, or it's going to be 1 or 2 swings where they catch up to a fastball, or it's a no hitter, because that's the kind of stuff he's got.
So how can he go from giving up the 5 runs in 5 innings like he did his last time to this, like that?
It's a matter of about 6-7 inches. It's not a lot. You know, you move the ball from the corner to the middle of the plate. That's not a big distance.
Perfectly done. Strike 3 to finish the inning. And so he gives up his, and some barking here, by the way, some barking between him and Vargas as he heads back to the dugout, having allowed his first hit tonight. Kind of an interesting exchange. Tomorrow Vargas took strike 3.
It's a strike, but now here's where it starts.
Sit down.
Yes, I think it was sit down, and then I think there was.
Where do you want me to sit? Which chair? What part of the bench?
That's exactly it.
Hernandez against Ray, taking a strike.
I didn't know you could lip read.
Getting better at it. All the runs in this game coming off home runs, which in this ballpark you think, yeah, of course. But this is no longer one of the best home run hitting parks in baseball since they put in the humidor prior to last season. That's gently hit left side. Won't be an easy play. Escobar charges and makes it look that way. 1 gone here in the 6th.
Friday on an all-new Backstage Dodgers, Alex Verdugo is mic'd up after a walk-off win, plus take an inside look at Will Smith's Major League debut with a few of his biggest fans in attendance. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
With 1 gone here in the 6th, here's Turner. Yeah, so in 2017 and just about every year before that, it was top 5 in baseball in terms of how many home runs flew out of here. But it's been 19th each of the last 2 years since they put the humidor in to strike on Turner. I mean, it needed to be done. It was a joke.
Yes, the ball really flew here, and now it plays fair even with the roof closed, because it can do both some days depending on the wind.
Turner gets his bat on it, and for the second time finds a way to just dunk it in and get on. Line drive in the box score. He's got 2 of them.
His total feet in base hits is not as long as either of the home runs. Just kind of flicks it out there, a little soft knockdown wedge.
David Freese, double and a walk tonight. Since David Freese put on a Dodger uniform the final day of August last year, the National League leaders in on-base percentage go Christian Yelich, David Freese.
And he's thinking about retiring?
Yeah. If it didn't work out with the Dodgers to get a deal done, he was ready to retire before this year.
I would not want to face him in the Legends game. It was scary enough to face James Loney.
Right. On a 1-1 pitch to Freese. He takes it in the dirt ball 2.
Speaking of Legends game, local resident Andre Ethier was here in the ballpark today, and the Dodgers let him put the uniform on and hit in BP. He was going deep.
He hit one almost to the top section of the bleachers beyond the right field bullpen. Kelly sets the target inside, and Ray looks at first. Turner doesn't even move. I'm not going anywhere, Robbie. Generous inside corner, evens the count up. Got him with a high fastball. 6th K for Robbie Ray. 2 gone here in the 6th. Up comes Corey Seager, and we look back at his home run on StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Love the fact that he goes to left center. Love the fact that it's not a weak fly ball. And you got a backspin it to hit 415, 414. I was rounding up.
Yeah. Deep.
Exactly.
On the corner, 0-1. Draft beginning today. Corey Seager was a first rounder, 18th overall, 2012, at a high school in North Carolina. Debuted 3 years later. He's 21 when he debuted. A month after he debuted, he was starting postseason games for the Dodgers. Turner at first, 2 out. Oh, 2. Got him in the corner. And the inning is over. To the bottom of the 6th we go. The Dodgers up 3-1. By Jeep Grand Cherokee. Test drive one today during the Jeep Spring Sales event.
Welcome back, everybody. 3-1 Dodgers lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Today was the first day of the 2019 Amateur Player Draft. The Dodgers had the 25th overall pick, the 31st overall pick, and with that first rounder, they take Cody Hosey, a third baseman from Tulane University, and they went from the Green Wave to the Tar Heels. The first rounder as the 31st overall, a third baseman, Michael Busch. They still have the 78th overall pick to be done today as well. Gentlemen.
Ball one on Carson Kelly leading off this 6th inning. How about Andrew Friedman, a Tulane product, going with a Tulane guy with the first pick. 1-1.
It's pretty good. I hope Cody Hosey has a good hose. That would be bad if he got a little popcorn.
I hope that's how you say his name.
That's true too.
We're all going to learn together.
Baseball Reference might have that with the drafts already, maybe.
Ooh.
Should we put him on the spot?
I'm just going to stand up for him before we even do. I wouldn't imagine there's a Baseball Reference page for a guy who became a pro like 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, but they could have the draft and then in parentheses.
Sharply hit at short. Seager's got it on a bounce. Kelly's out number 1.
The pronunciation.
Right. I mean, maybe there's a page already. I guess I shouldn't doubt the almighty Baseball Reference, but.
And we are not, that is not tongue in cheek. That is a great place to go.
Oh, live on there.
Yes.
Here's Robbie Ray, 1 gone in the 6th. Speaking of Andrew Friedman and drafts, his first pick is ahead of the Dodgers is the man on the mound right here, Walker Buehler. One. 35th Major League start tonight for Walker Buehler, 25-year-old from Lexington, Kentucky. That's dribbled right side. Buehler's going to get there, and he'll meet Ray in the base path, play a game of chicken, and then flip on to first. 2 out. Had that Tommy John surgery soon after he was drafted, and so only pitched 3 games over the first technically 2 years that he was a pro. As towards the end of 2016. His first full season as a pro is the year that he debuted in the majors in September of 2017. For finishing in top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting last year. Breaking camp with the team this year. Only 1 base runner against him tonight. Home run from Christian Walker last inning. 3rd time through. Gerard Dyson takes ball 1. On the topic of the draft, Gerard Dyson was a 50th round pick. They don't even have 50 rounds anymore. And so he will hold the title of the last 50th rounder standing. That tails back in, and it's 1-2. Out of Southwest Mississippi Junior College. Legend has it that Kansas City allowed this longtime scout to make their 50th round pick every year. And he chose Dyson out of a stack. He's down swinging on a back foot breaking ball. And the 6th inning comes to a close with another strikeout from Walker Buehler, who's got 9 of them tonight.
Friday on an all-new Backstage Dodgers. No, that's not it. June 16th, the other one. After the game, face the Cubs. Enjoy Friday night fireworks themed Dad Rock. After that read should be Grandfather Rock, presented by Denny's. Some conditions apply. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
You got through that well. Will Smith swings at the first pitch, backs up Escobar, whose throw is a little bit high, but Walker stretches to get it. 1 pitch, 1 out for Robbie Ray. More than I want to know how you got through that as well as you did. I want to know what Dad Rock is.
I don't know. Are they talking about Dad? Your dad, father of 2?
I am.
Okay.
My rock is like Drake.
Okay, and then I would go like Bruce Springsteen. And
It's not. It's not my rock. I'm not.
I know what you
kidding.
mean.
It's not rock. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what age group are they talking?
Right. We got dads of all ages. Here's Verdugo with one out.
And you know what? That Friday night falls on June 14th, so that read was completely off. My bad.
It's okay.
Sharp is a 60-year-old tack.
So here's a ground ball base hit into center for Verdugo, his second hit tonight. So what night is the fireworks?
Friday night fireworks are on June 14th, the Dad Rock.
Yep.
So
good.
We're excited about it.
Yeah.
It's presented by Denny's. They're still the presenter.
Mm-hmm.
For more accurate information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions.
We can trust that.
Yeah.
Might even tell you who qualifies as Dad Rock.
That could be there. The parameters are there, possibly.
Andrew swarming here. Dad Rock in my house would have been Steve Earle growing up. Little Steve Earle, little Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Dad Rock for you as a kid would have been what?
Oh my! All the way back to my dad.
Yeah. Well, that's what when I said Steve Earle, Bruce Springsteen.
I don't.
That's what I meant.
Trini Lopez.
Strike one on Jock Peterson.
The Beatles.
Okay.
I don't think Dad was a big Rolling Stone guy.
Good read by Verdugo. Kelly's throw not in time. Nice backup by Vargas to keep it from getting into center. But Verdugo took off as soon as he saw that thing scored away.
If you're going to wait long enough to see how far it gets away from the catcher, how high in the air it goes, you're probably going to be too late. So you've got to judge the angle of the pitch, and when it hits the dirt, you're gone. There was no reading how far is it going to get away. Do I have a shot? Strictly preparing and moving when it hits the dirt.
So an opportunity for the Dodgers to get that run back. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jock Peterson. That's strike 2. Big batter here for Rays. Got Buehler on deck. Opportunity to get out of this. And ahead of Peterson, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jock 4 of 23 against left-handed pitching this year. Mentioned it earlier. Second time he started against a lefty.
Strategically, you don't want to steal third here or attempt to steal third. Become the second out. Jock Peterson becomes the third out. Now Walker Buehler leads off the next inning. That's keeping your head on a swivel right there. He reads it in the dirt. He jumps and heads towards third, but then sees that it's right between his legs and throws on the brakes. It's in the dirt. Oh, it's right there. I'm back. He spun his tires a little bit around turn 2.
Two and 2 on Peterson, and Ray with a look at Verdugo comes home and misses. 3 and 2.
It's a really good take. That ball was a strike for a long time before that break took it low and away. Used to seeing that little helicopter swing from Jock where the top hand comes off and he kind of does twirly bird because he was trying to stay with it.
This, by the way, is the first time this year Robbie Ray has recorded an out in the 7th inning. Verdugo at second, one gone, 3-1 Dodgers in the 7th, and on a payoff, Peterson strikes out swinging. The 8th for Ray, 2 gone for Buehler. One and 0. Well, for Ray, you throw out the 4th inning. This has been one of the most efficient outings, not just this year, but of his career. Reason he's not recorded an out in the 7th in a game this year is he typically doesn't have any bullets left by the time he gets there.
Yeah, his pitch count gets elevated quickly because he's a swing and miss guy, or he's wild. So there's not a lot of balls put in play in early counts. So even when he has his best stuff, a lot of times he's still going to throw a lot of pitches. And with swing and miss stuff, you get a lot like that. You get a lot of foul balls. So in some ways, as a pitcher, you want to be very hard to comprehend, but not too hard. No, that nice balance.
Fine line there. Trying to take advantage of Verdugo's single, then aggressive base running. Trying to do it with Walker Buehler on a 2-1. Out in front, 2-2. Struck out 9 Dodgers when he saw him in his first start of the year. Looking for his 9th tonight right here. A 2-2. Got him swinging. Stretch time in Arizona. The Dodgers on a Corey Seager home run. Lead it 3-1. On 6 hits for the Dodgers. Corey Seager's home run the difference. The Diamondbacks 1 run on 1 hit. And our top tier play is brought to you by Arco. Walker Buehler has 9 Ks and he's given up just 1 base runner. It was Christian Walker's solo homer.
It's a season high, the 9 Ks. It's not a career high. He had 12 against the Rockies last year. It's surprising those 12 against the Rockies is the only time he's had double-digit strikeouts. A shot for it, though, here with only 79 pitches through 6.
2, 3, and 4 coming up against him. Strike 1 on Escobar. You're talking about it as the 6th inning came to a close. Continue to tell us how he can look so different from last start to this start.
It really is a fine line. You know, it's a fine line of being able to command his breaking stuff, and it's a fine line between just 6 to 8 inches difference with the fastball, whether it's in height as far as keeping it down or keeping it up, or whether it's in width. First pitch was absolutely perfect. That pitch right there was center cut. He will be able to get away with that spray pattern as long as you have the first pitch. The first pitch, inside corner, 96, 98, gets the hitter on his heels a little bit, a little more defensive. You get away with some of your other mistakes then.
Jeez. There's 10. Season high 10 Ks for Walker Buehler.
All right, stay after the game on June 16th for a Father's Day catch on the field with your family. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
And they'll play Dad Rock?
No, that's on June 14th on Friday Night Fireworks.
Got it. Father's Day weekend, though, Dad Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ball one on David Peralta.
Don't make me cross-check that.
No, I think that's right. The 14th and the 16th.
Yep.
Walker's a rock and roll guy. His walk-up song, Avenged Sevenfold. It's fouled, and it's 1-1. So season high 10 Ks. Last September against Colorado, we had 12. That's the career high. 84 pitches at this point. He's got an opportunity to chase that number tonight. Here he is with a 1-1, and Peralta fouls it back 1-2. He's not losing any life on that fastball as this outing's going deeper.
That's a really good miss because he misses all the way across the plate, but this one's on the corner, so I'm sure the heat map says that's a red zone too. You're fine to go there.
Most zones are when it's 97 or 98 and
on a corner. Any four, all four.
Right. 2-2. Is he thinking right now, gosh, one bad pitch I made, I'm that close to being perfect?
I don't think he's thinking it now, but during the inning when it happened, yeah. So a little bit more aggressiveness in the pitch quality, in the action coming off the mound like that one. And after the last strikeout, there was still a little anger coming out.
Yeah, jinx.
Yep.
3-2. Punch on the ground is short for Corey Seager. Still just one base runner against him through 6 2/3. Now, last 6 starts, his strikeout to walk ratio is 44-3. Regular old Hyun-Jin Ryu. With 2 out, here's Adam Jones. Swinging to the first pitch, bouncing it to Seager. Another lightning quick inning for Walker Buehler, who's through 7 on 89 pitches. 3-1 Dodgers to the 8th. 1 and we look him inside. Joe Davis and Orel Hershiser, and Walker Buehler has been something to behold tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, Corey Seager's home run is on the back of Walker Buehler and his unbelievable outing. You look at what he's doing, striking out in double figures, but the efficiency to do that, like he's just barely into the 70s as far as the pitch count, and you're thinking about 10 strikeouts. So there's 30 of them. Everything else, pretty good contact early.
I know you said he's maybe not thinking about it, but I know you are at home, and I know we are. One pitch away from being perfect through 7.
And with the skills to finish it off.
Yes.
So yeah, it wouldn't have been luck.
Matt Andriese comes into the game. The Dodgers up 3-1, and so Robbie Ray's night is finished, and into the 8th we go. We talked about it during the pregame show today, but the Dodgers have, well, they've been one of the best offensive teams overall, especially good in the late innings lately. Because remember, early on the story was they were getting it done against starting pitchers, but not at all against the bullpen. Started to stack those runs up late in games over the last month. Andriese facing the top of the order, and Chris Taylor, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
They're averaging 2.5 runs over the 6 through 9. So you think about that, that's number 1 in baseball, including the American League, where there's more offense.
Ranked 8th in the majors in that category last year, leading the majors this season. Chopper foul 1-2. Nice play, Dino Ebel. Got his 6 miles in this morning, like he does every single morning of his life. 6 miles on the treadmill. Hates running outside. Taylor 0 for 4 as Andriese pumps a fastball in there. One gone in the 8th.
Chris wasn't sure about a curveball earlier in the at bat, but this one is definitely right there.
This is a bullpen for the Diamondbacks that last year was #1 in the National League most of the season. And then as they all came crashing down in September, at least the team did, the bullpen was right along with them. And that's continued into this season. That's a strike on Kike Hernandez. One of the biggest issues has been guys like Archie Bradley, who is such a big part of their success in recent seasons, really struggling. Yoshi Hirano, who was their team rookie of the year last year, he's been miserable this season. Really, they've had two good pieces at the back end. They've had Greg Holland, who's been exceptional as their first-year closer. Yohan Lopez on the right there, sitting next to Hirano in the bullpen. He's been great as well. Everybody else has pitched to an ERA together of 5. 1 and 2. Those are deflating ways to lose games. And you talked about it. They've played more one-run games than any team in baseball. That's a bad thing to have be your weak link when you're playing so many close games.
They've lost 16 one-run games, the most in the big leagues. They had 31 last year. That was the most in the big leagues. And they went out and tried to fix the bullpen to help them out. Bullpens are really hard to figure out why they get it right. It's probably the Achilles heel of most general managers.
Yeah.
Presidents of baseball ops.
Andrew Chafin warming.
A lot of bullpen pieces. They have good years. That means they get used a lot. And then somebody signs them. And they look like they got their resume, but they end up with a flat tire.
Hernandez muscles one to the left. Peralta will scoot under, 2 out.
Dodger fans, do you know a standout high school senior athlete? Then nominate them for a chance to be named a Spectrum Sports Championship Drive Scholar Athlete, presented by Shakey's Pizza. Nominees receive a $2,500 college scholarship. Go to SpectrumChamp.com now for more information.
Yeah, there are not too many teams who would say that their bullpen is their strength in this day and age of baseball. I mean, it seemed like for a couple years there were teams that were building specifically with that in mind, and even the Yankees still, and they'd be the team that comes to mind when you're thinking who would say their bullpen is their biggest strength. Maybe the Yankees, but outside of that, most teams would roll their eyes about their bullpen. It's a strike on Turner.
And with game theory in baseball now being prepared for those last innings, at least for sure offensively, and removing the starter early, so putting a little more pressure and length on the bullpen. It can be a significant blow to your team in the season, or it can be a significant boost. And that's what I think is so amazing about the Dodger record and the streak they're on right now, that they're doing it pretty much without their bullpen. Yes, with Kenley Jansen, who is outstanding. You look at the ERA, you go, it's a little high, but that's one outing. Without the one outing where he really blew up, his ERA is under 2. It's like a 1.88. Well, you go to the rest of the guys, and it's not about removing one outing. It is a pattern of bad outings that they're trying to respond to. Kenley's the one that has been consistently really good, sometimes in a different way, but consistently really good. And the other guys are really looking for that consistency.
At least consistently finding a way, Kenley Jansen.
Yes. He's getting it
dominant, but 1 and 2 on Turner. Andriese comes back home, and that's an impressive inning for him. He goes 1-2-3 against the top of the lineup. The bottom of the 8th, we check in with the guys in studio for a preview of the postgame show.
All right, thanks, guys. The one big swing from Corey Seager has so far been enough for a very dominant Walker Buehler.
Finally good to see a guy wearing number 5 in Dodger blue going deep.
Still needs 6 more outs. These two guys will break it down after the game, plus reaction. Stay with us.
Strike 1 on Ketel Marte. They tried to coax Nomar into talking, but it didn't work. Walker Buehler now 90 pitches into this game. Only gone 8 innings once in his career. It was against St. Louis last September. Marte on the ground is second. Hernandez is there. One away in the 8th.
They said to Nomar, can you at least make a sound? And he said, oh, okay.
So he clapped.
So they thought they had him, you know, and so he just clapped.
Only one base runner against Buehler tonight. The guy that's coming up right now hit a home run against him in the 5th.
He's remembering it now. He's remembering that he's only given up one, and this guy is the problem with a possible perfect game. And that will give him a little bit more motivation in this at bat. And the guys that have an ego, which is a good ego, will say, okay, you hit it last time. I'm not changing a thing. Here, try again.
Now that in 2, here is that home run from Walker. His 11th of the season.
He actually threw the first pitch of this next at bat in the same exact place that he hit the home run.
Driven on a line to center. Taylor back, makes the catch. Good first step to put him in position to catch it.
That was some respect right there. I don't know if Christian Walker was smiling because he was still upset that he hit it well. A high slider that he gets a good piece of. Chris Taylor with a nice jump, nice route, captures it. And then after that, Walker and Christian cross pass going across the infield, and looks like they had a friendly word. He's like, man, you're good.
Tomorrow Vargas, these guys had a little bit less friendly of an exchange the last time Vargas was up there. Took strike 3 called, and Buehler told him to go take a seat.
I love those moments. I'm so glad that we went back to that with the replay. It just reminds you of the days when you're on the field and you're competing. And do you want to have athletes that are gentlemen? Yes, but do you want them to lay it all on the line and have passion and want to beat the opposing team, and you want to see it? You want to see the emotion? That's when you get to see it. That's what you get to see, what's under their skin.
One, 2. Punch past third base, hit to left. 2-out hit for Tomorrow Vargas. And that gets the tying run to the plate here for Arizona. Does that make it feel a little bit better for Buehler, knowing that it wasn't just one away from being a perfect game?
Yeah, probably, but I don't think he's feeling anything good when the guy he barked at gets a hit in the next at bat.
So maybe tomorrow when he's thinking about it, it'll feel a little bit better. But yeah, that look on his face says not him.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I would never teach anybody to avoid those confrontations. I think those are the things that drive you to be the best. I think those are the stimuluses you need through a 162 game season to continue to focus and have passion and to be at that edge.
Kenley Jansen warming, and in this stage, Buehler's not going to need any added motivation to get an edge because the Diamondbacks have the tying run up there. And Carson Kelly takes ball 1. Next pitch would be the 100th for Buehler, which will match his season high. Career high is 109. That was in the World Series last year. One ball, one strike. Well, Kelly has 5 home runs this season. He hit his first on the 2nd day of May in Colorado, and said that as soon as he hit that, which was his first one with Arizona, he came over in the Paul Goldschmidt deal, he felt all this weight lifted off his shoulders, stopped putting so much pressure on himself, and has been a completely different guy since. A guy they like up there in these situations. But here He's behind 1-2.
See, I love the fact that Walker Buehler has sped up the whole lineup with his fastball dominance. But now with the game on the line and the tying run at the plate, it's okay to trick him. It's okay. Don't stay strength against strength. Now you've got him set up.
Absolute dominance tonight from Walker Buehler. 11 strikeouts and just 2 base runners over 8 innings against Arizona. LA is brought to you by Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. Dodgers 3, Diamondbacks 1. Corey Seager with a 3-run shot. Christian Walker with a solo homer. That is it. 2 base runners against Walker Buehler tonight. One of the best performances of his young career.
That is a genuine smile that it's all coming together for 2019. He responded to a tough outing. He was on a roll before that. And this outing tonight for Walker Buehler was the difference between, am I moving into a slump, or was the hot streak a place where I want to be and I can live? And I think he can live there.
Part of the order for the Dodgers, David Freese taking a strike from Matt Andriese. Andriese and Freese. Nice. Nothing in 2. Big day for the Diamondbacks with this being the first day of the draft. They have 7 picks out of the first 75. And I think it can be a franchise-altering day. Freese punches one to right. Adam Jones will catch it. A decade ago, they had a similar draft where they had a bunch of picks early on. They had back-to-back picks in the first round, 16th and 17th overall, and they planned all along that they would take a high-end high school player and a high-end college player. As Torey Lovullo comes out, it appears to make a change for Corey Seager. Their college player was A.J. Pollock out of Notre Dame. Their high school player was going to be Mike Trout, but the scouting director went and saw him because of a rainout for Steven Matz, who he was watching. Went and saw him again. Trout played his worst game as a high schooler. Doubt started to creep in, and so the Diamondbacks passed on him and took a guy named Bobby Borcherine, who never made it past Double-A. Back in a moment.
Wow.
How about that line? For Walker Buehler tonight, 11 Ks, 1 short of his career high. Matches a career-long outing, the 8 innings. Did that against St. Louis last September. Only 2 base runners against him. Home run from Walker and a single from Vargas. Difference in this game, Corey Seager's 3-run home run. Seager's up there taking strike 1 from Andrew Chafin.
Make the change to get the left-on-left situation, but Seager conquered that against the starter, Robbie Ray. You know, Walker Buehler, when he crossed over from minor leaguer to big leaguer and had a wake-up call of how tough it was going to be up here, not just his stuff to succeed, his mantra became, I need to make strikes look like balls and balls look like strikes. And that's what he did tonight. His soft stuff tonight, the slider and the curveball, both over 55% of the time strikes. The fastball, 70% strikes. It's a great game for him to go back and look at and say, that's who I want to be.
2-2, and now he gets a veteran sandwich there. And a sunflower seed. No, I thought Rich was offering him. Clayton Kershaw has said about Walker Buehler that you can't teach his kind of talent, his kind of God-given ability. But now it becomes a matter of doing it every 5th day for a full season, for a couple seasons, for 5 years, for a decade, for a career. Seager down on strikes, 2 away.
Goes up the ladder. Sieg started the day trying to make Robbie Ray get it up. So his eye has been thigh high and above. That one was above the shoulders.
2 out for Smith. You know, with Buehler's outing tonight, over the last month, Just about 1 of every 3 starts is 7 innings or more, 0 or 1 runs. 9 of the last 29 games, at least 7 innings, no more than 1 run.
So for him to be in a Cy Young race someday, it's going to be about smoothing out the rough ones, other than those dominants. Taking the bad ones and bringing them down into the gave my team a chance to win, and keeping those dominant ones right there. That's where you got to be coaching yourself out there. That's how you limit the damage in those outings where things can spiral out of control. And the guy to his left is the best we've ever seen at it. At taking an outing where he's got his average stuff, not his best command, and finding a way to get through it. Go 7, go 8, even go 9, only give up 2 when most guys would be giving up 5 and be out of the game in the 5th.
And those become the really gratifying ones, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to go out there with your best stuff and it's just flowing out of your body.
Sure.
And you're not making any adjustments, and you've got dominant stuff and you're going through them like a hot knife through butter. But yeah, the work comes in and you get paid off for knowing your delivery and knowing how to fix it in those ones where you're grinding it out.
Most of your starts are somewhere in the middle, right? You're going to have a few where you don't have it at all, a few where you have that butter through knife.
Yep.
But most starts you're going to have to kind of figure out your way through it.
Yeah, I mean, for the best for Clayton, I'll bet you 2 out of 5 in his prime of primes. He just flows out of his body. He's working, it looks like, but it's just happening. And then there's 1 clunker that he has to fight through, and there's 2 average.
Smith digs it out and serves a base hit to left down the line. Hang on with a 2-out single.
In so many words, Will Smith knows he's going back to AAA when Austin Barnes is healthy, but he sure is not letting that affect his concentration, his approach at the plate. There doesn't seem to be any anxiety like my time is running out. He's just playing the game. Another guy who looks very comfortable at this level.
Inning kept alive for Verdugo. He's got a couple hits tonight. He and Justin Turner. Dodgers have multiple hits. There goes Smith, the second, crashing in. He's out. They're going to take a look at this, though. Boy, no regard for his own safety there. Crashing into second. Bob Guerin says safe.
Will Smith says he thinks he got tagged on the shoulder. Is his hand on the bag when he says, I felt like I got tagged on my shoulder. Well, he's safe. Now, does he come off the bag? No, tag comes off. I think he's going to be safe. I think the left hand gets in. I think the inside view's the better view. Yeah, he's safe. And now the glove is off and the hand never comes off. If he catches 15 years in the big leagues, in about the 3rd or 4th year, he's not going to be stealing that many bags.
And especially not sliding like that when he does. Whew.
You know who he's reminding me of?
Who?
Craig Biggio. And Biggio struggled to find a position early in his career before he ended up behind the plate in second base. And that's who Will Smith's starting to remind me of.
First career stolen base. Does he get to take the bag with him?
Maybe after the game.
Authenticate this. He caught Clayton Kershaw on Saturday, and Clayton paid him what may not seem like a big compliment, but coming from Clayton Kershaw he is a major league catcher right now. And Clayton is not an easy grader. Count is 0-1 on Verdugo. Trying to get a little bit of cushion for the 9th inning. Leading 3-1. Looking for their 6th consecutive win. That's strike 2 on Verdugo.
Clayton's not an easy grader on himself either, to call it fair.
Said the thing that he appreciates most is his temperament. You would never know that he's in his first week in the majors. I can't imagine that's an easy thing to have be exceptional when you're catching the greatest pitcher of your generation in one of your first games in the majors, and to still have the composure to have him praise your demeanor. Here's a 1-2. Two balls, two strikes. Smith at second. Verdugo. It's a bouncing ball to second. And Vargas will throw him out to finish the Dodger 9th. Here comes Kenley Jansen to the bottom of the 9th. Fasten those seatbelts. Dodgers looking for their 6th in a row. You throw out the grand slam up in San Diego, and he's got a sub-2 ERA. Lately, he's been at his best in 2019.
Early 2019, the cutter was not consistent. It was actually backing up on him. The velocity was pretty good, but it was backing up on him. Now the cutter's consistent, and he's mixing in the slider a little bit more. We've even seen it back to back.
He's going to face 9-1-2, so a pinch hitter, and then Dyson and Escobar. The pinch hitter will be an old Dodger and Tim Locastro. Now, Locastro has been good for the Diamondbacks. He's developing a reputation for having a knack, unlike any other player, of getting hit by pitches. 60 plate appearances this season. He's been hit 9 times. 6+ years in pro baseball. He's been hit 173 times. And right now, Tim's is trying to get on any way he can. So watch out for that elbow guard of his.
Right-handed Chase Utley.
Dodgers 3, Diamondbacks 1. Bottom of the 9th. Here comes Kenley Jansen with ball 1 a little bit inside. Yeah, just to give some context to that comparison, Chase got hit 204 times over his 16-year major league career. 6+ years in pro ball for Locastro, 173. That's a strike 1-1. Granted, the control is not as good in the minors, but something that he started working on when he was in college. Division III Ithaca. Realized he's not going to be a power hitter. His game is on base, and that's one of the ways to get on. Use his speed. On a 1-1 from Jansen. That's outside, ball 2.
We just had the Legends game, and they bring out bats of guys that have been traded because they still have them in the locker room. And Locastro's bat, there was 3 of them out there for the Legends game, and guys were coming up to me and going, "Who's this guy that we're using this bat?"
2 balls, 2 strikes.
I'm like, he's in Arizona. He's with the Dodgers. Remember, he got added to the roster. He was the pinch hitter, outfitter. Oh, yeah, I remember.
He gets hit a lot of bruises.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I remember you guys talking about him.
Leading off this 9th against Kenley Jansen, who's home with a 2-2 pitch. Same time tomorrow night. There'll be a day game on Wednesday. Hyun-Jin Ryu, Taylor Clark tomorrow, and then in the day game Wednesday, Kenta Maeda, John Duplantier. Another 2-2. A pop-up. At first, David Freese. One away. Edgerard Dyson. He came into this one telling you about the Diamondbacks offense. Third in the league in scoring, but boom or bust. And tonight, running into the buzzsaw that has been Dodger pitching. So far tonight, it's been bust. Kenley Jansen trying to keep it that way. 2 outs away from taking the series opener. Up and away, ball 1. Trying to set a new tone in this park, because as good as the Dodgers have been overall in recent years, they've dropped 10 of their last 13 games at Chase Field. On the ground is second for Hernandez, and 2 up and 2 down here in the 9th.
Yeah, this place has been a little haunted for the Dodgers, kind of like the Coors Field effect. It's kind of the Chase Field effect. Archie Bradley's been a big part of that too. You know, those things that happen at the end. Either he comes in the 8th, strikes out the side, and here they come back with 3 runs in the 9th to beat you.
There's Bradley. Dave Roberts pointing to his head there, saying something about the way to approach Escobar. Use your head. I don't know what that would entail. Either way, this is Arizona's best hitter this year. And that is strike 1.
And bunting is part of his game. Justin Turner with 2 outs here, down by 2, pinching in. Corey Seager flipping over and putting 3 guys on the right side of the field, but Justin now creeping in and creeping over where Corey just vacated.
Driven to right center field. That's going to split the gap. And bounce out of play for a double that'll get the tying run to the plate against Jansen.
Okay, we don't need any ghost stories here. Let's look for the final out. Going cutter up and in, and you can see it doesn't cut much, and it actually gets released a little early and leaks out over the middle of the plate and up. A bad cutter is like a juicy slider that doesn't break. They're both about the same pitch. A little less velocity than your 4-seamer and no break.
Kind of at bat that you watch with your hands in front of your face, peer through your fingertips. David Peralta. Ball 1 up and away. One of the best hitters in the National League the last 2 seasons, Peralta. Career high 32 home runs last year. He's got 7 home runs so far this season. Tonight, his first game off of the injured list with a shoulder injury. Set for the 1-0. Popped up. Left side of the infield, Justin Turner. The Dodgers have won their 6th in a row. Dominance from the pitchers tonight. 8 innings, Walker Buehler, and Kenley Jansen closes it down for his 18th save.
When you have dominant pitching and you get your runs with a swing of the bat and a home run from your shortstop, you do it in record time. 2:26.
Fastest of the year?
I would say so.
Lexus player of the game, Walker Buehler. 8 innings, matches a career high, and those 11 Ks falls 1 short of his career high mark. Only 2 base runners against him, home run and a single, and that is it. And the Dodgers have won 6 straight. They've won 10 of their last 11. National League best 42-19. They'll try to win the series tomorrow behind Hyun-Jin Ryu. For Orel Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Chase Field. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night.